when production does not lead to value chains, it is primitive. But what you have is that we are not even having primitive production, we're having primitive accumulation, in which case the rent that we get from natural mineral resources or natural resources, which are exploited by expatriate farms, the dominant state actors loot that money, misapply it simultaneously. That's what is going on. And so that is why politics in most third world countries, as Claude Ake puts it, is warfare. And so the gentlemen, if they can be called gentlemen, or the rascals you have in the National Assembly, are not there because of the interests of the people. They are there to assess state resources through primitive accumulation, in which case they are not producing anything. You take this money, then you begin to live, ostentatious life, enjoying what economists will call marginal utility. Those things, fancy items, those things that give a sense of serendipity. I have arrived. Castro will call them bumpy parvenu. Nouveau rich. And all they do is to take their families. They take their family to the Bahamas, Florida, for vacation. Even when in Nigeria, one of the best places you say you go for holiday is probably University of Ife, Obafemi Awolowo University. The guest house is one of the best, it's situated in one of the best environments in this country. People don't go there. People don't go to Lokoja, where you have the River Niger and the Benue crossing each other. People don't go to Obudu Ranch, with its high altitude. Or people don't go to just to enjoy the temperate, environment. Because if you have been to the rest of the world, they don't have anything to offer. The continent of Africa has a great deal to offer. If you go, for instance, to South Africa, you drive by road through Port Elizabeth, all of them to Cape Town. You see how this continent has been greatly endowed. If you move across this country, take off from Ondo up to Adamawa or Adamawa State, you see the topography of this country. Exciting, breathtaking topography. We are not exploiting them. The history of the various kingdoms, Oyo Empire, Benin Empire, we have not been able to articulate them into tourist resources. So you then wonder, what kind of elite do we have in this country? An elite that cannot protect its own interests, that cannot ensure its own legitimacy, that cannot build hegemony by delivering the goods of governance. These are the problems. So what the budget padding becomes a natural thing, because it's one of the many avenues of primitive accumulation in this country. Everybody knows, and it is an open secret, that even when budgets are passed after appropriation, most of the key contracts are implemented either by the front, companies set up by the so-called honorables and distinguished senators. It is an open secret. They know it. And that's what they all do. So ministers build into their own budgets. Ministries build into their budget contracts that will be implemented ultimately by members of the National Assembly. That's what they do. And that is why the case has been made that we don't need a full-time National Assembly.